Where are all the sprinters at the Giro? Where are they? They're here in Hungary. The sprint field is absolutely stacked. Groenewegen, Jakobsen, etc. Egan Bernal is also here after a very reassuring Romandie, but crashed hard today. Tour de Hongrie. Good list lineup this year. As I said, Bernal, Plapp as well. And this was the opening sprint stage. So they got 3 pretty much nailed on sprint stages. It was a narrow road, but mostly straight. Decent weather conditions, 15. Bit cloudy, no rain, no problem. Break went with Charles Plenet and a couple of the Hungarian boys as well. And, with Bora, Quick Step, even Ineos maybe, controlling things, and Lotto Destiny for Caleb Ewan. Also, this helmet, I swear I saw Nizzolo wearing the same helmet. Is it a prototype? Do they use the same manufacturer? Or maybe Ewan and Nizzolo are just sharing the same helmet. I don't know. Anyway, Bernal's having a chat to him. How's it going? And yeah, Jayco for Groenewegen, who won a stage last year ahead of Jakobsen, and Jakobsen also won a stage in Hungary last year. They're back. So 34 seconds, 37 Ks to go. We know the inevitable is happening, which is horse racing, the peloton analysis. These horses, they ain't got anything on the Strada Bianca horse or the Hungarian horses in Tour de Hongrie last year. Those were flying. These ones left behind pretty quickly. So hopefully they bring in some race horses to race the peloton in the next stages. Anyway, Vink pacing. Hodges here as well for UAE Team Emirates. He's had a rough go of it the last 18 months. Lund Andersen or Casper van Uden go for DSM as well, lined up at the back. And 10 Ks to go, things get serious. There's a couple of corners, and everyone wants front position after this roundabout because it narrows here. You see Bora, you see them jawing. They're talking to DSM right now. They're saying, slow down, 7 Ks to go. It's a narrow road. There's no more much road furniture up after this point. It's not that technical. And we just hold front position, just not halfway with each other. Lampart's also talking to them. He's saying, come across me. I think it's Archibald talking to him. Archibald, then Mullen. Ineos at the back. They got Viviani here, but I think he's retired, but he still he turns up at these races. Plapp as well on the back left side. And so it was pretty smart from Quickstep and Bora because they don't have big trains. It's small teams here. It's not like 8 riders and they got 6 men to do the lead out. Here is the overhead as well. Take a note, 2 Ineos boys, including, I think it might be Tullett, number 5, and he's next to Plapp. Plapp's in the Aussie bands on the left-hand side. They're not mixing it up, in the sprint under the 3K to Banner, 3-kilometer rule. Past that point, they're just chilling at the back. They're even laying off a bit. They're not sharpening the elbows or getting involved. They are just on the left-hand side. But now everyone starts swinging now. Lampard and Mullins move across to the right to block people, and Alpecin coming up the right-hand side for Mareshko. Bahrain got Bauhaus on the left. DSM got a pretty strong train. Lampart's checking, and Morkov at this point gets on the radio to talk to him. Where's Fabio? Who's Fabio? He's an infielder for the Atlanta Braves. Morkov tells him, don't worry, Fabio's here for now. And Lampard keeps pacing on the front, maintaining front position because you can't move up. Look how narrow it is. There's I think a Tudor rider who's going to move up and is going to come a cropper in the ditch shortly. But here is Ewan's next to Emils Leipinge for Trek Segafredo. The riders DSM train Bauhaus there with 2 guys, although Pasqualon's in the Giro for Milan. And it's now Mullen on the front with Van Poppel in his wheel and Bennett. Everyone wants Bennett's wheel. We'll see that later in a second in this sprint. But Ewan's in good position. I mean, as things go so far in his sort of last 2 years at Lotto, he's in good enough position. 2 Ks to go. But 2 men is not that many. Tudor rider goes into the ditch. I hope he's okay. At least it was a soft landing. Mullen swings across because Jayco's train is now revving it. They got some good engine. They got Mezgets, Kell for Groenewegen, who, in an easy stage like this, flat stage, Groenewegen is a burner. Like, he's one of the quickest in the world. Of course, he doesn't climb as well as some of the versatile guys like a Groves or a Pedersen, but he's a burner on stages like these. And as quick as Fabio, and probably more consistent maybe, or reliable. It's all this swinging back and forth. And you don't see the Ineos GC guys mixing it up too much deep in the field. Like, maybe it's Bernal, or no, Narvaez on the right-hand side. Bernal is deeper. Bora swing back in. And here we see the overhead. Ewan gets squeezed off his own lead-out's wheel by, I think, the Jayco leader pinches the wheel, and Bennett, if you're looking here, he also gives him the big don't argue. Ewan stays up, and then that causes a ripple effect behind. Eventually, Trek riders to brake, people braking, one rider goes down, and then there's a domino effect to the left where Plapp and Bernal were minding their own business at the back of the field. And Bernal's gone down hard, skin off the right knee and right arm. That right knee's taken a huge battering, and this is such a shame. He has such bad luck. I would say Bernal is an above average bike handler for a GC rider, based on just watching him in the Tour de France in his heyday or before his major crash. We'll get back to him in a second. Sprint goes on, though, just in a much reduced group. That was under 3Ks to go, so everyone that crashed gets the same time to finish the stage. DSM leading out. Bauhaus in a good posse, fourth wheel with 500 meters to go. Look at here. This is a Jayco lead out, does a really good job today. They look behind, they see Groenewegen, but he's got a man behind him. They're going to move him up. They want him to finish on Bennett's wheel. And Mezgec sprints full gas and puts him on Bennett's wheel, and Groenewegen's big, and Bauhaus is big, and Lotto Destiny's Caleb Ewan loses the wheel again, and he gets squeezed by those two guys. It's like he either yields the wheel or he crashes. Groenewegen comes out of Bennett's wheel. Ewan, though, actually finishes really, really fast, and Bennett did a good sprint as well, but Groenewegen wins. Here's the overhead. You see the fight right here. I'm going to freeze frame it. Mezgec has just dropped Groenewegen off. He puts the elbow into Ewan, says, I would like Bennett's wheel, please, because they know Bennett has had the best lead out for the last, say, 18 months from Van Poppel in the world, and Bennett from his wheel is beatable. And in UAE Tour, in loads of race people, the goal is get on Bennett's wheel. In his draft, Van Poppel will put him in a good position, and he eats a lot of wind in second position, and then you can beat him from his wheel. And so that's exactly what happens again, although it's a very, very close run thing. Groenewegen jumps actually at the same time as Bennett, gets a little bit longer in Van Poppel's wheel. Ewan going up the right-hand side, I don't think he had to check his sprint. You see Bauhaus just doesn't have the speed of those three guys, and it's close, but Groenewegen gets the job done. Bernal eventually gets back on the bike, a real shame, because his Romandy shape, I'm telling you, Bernal's Romandy shape on Tillon, he was going to win. He could win a Tour de France breakaway stage in the mountains. No problem. That was really, really good shape. Vuelta as well. I think he's probably going to go for GC there, go for a top 10 anyway. But here's the top 10. Groenewegen finishing ahead of Bennett, Ewan, Bauhaus, Gillard, Hodge, Jakobsen, Kopecky, Vimais, and Clement. Here's what Groenewegen had to say after the stage.
For sure it was hectic. That was what we expected before the race, with some wind from the back. Makes it a really fast final, bit up, bit down. Big road, make it really hectic. So yeah, it was a bit of stress. I think for every team the same, but I think the team was really good on the right moment. Yeah, then I was a bit boxed in, but yeah, also Bora was there with the lead out, and I had Mesa with my lead out. And yeah, I go in the slipstream from Denny, and then it was a really nice sprint between Bennett and me. And it was really close, what you say, but yeah, on the end I get the victory. So close finish is also a win, and yeah, that's a nice one. Nice to start the Tour of Hungary like this.
But I hope you enjoyed the video. It's a bit of a different parkour of Hungary this year. There's some good GC young guys here like Plapp and Tullett and Bernal Ineos, so we'll see how they are. Stay tuned for Stage 2's recap tomorrow. Ciao.